I hope this is loud enough though. Babiza, no nene. Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Retsene. Grata le dumedisa ka moka lena. We are still waiting for your friends. Call your friends to call their friends to call their friends' friends. Because today, it's going to be that show. It's going to be that show. Yeah? Let's sing along quickly. You make me believe in my dreams. You make me believe in... Thank you. It's good to have you tuned on. And I hope that this discussion is going to be exciting and full of great things for you, whatever that may be. Siyabonga. What? I hope you are dancing, Lapo Kona Kon. Let's dance, Gangan. Nego, welcome. I see you. Let's just give the people some time to come in. Ow, Putis Kumbuzo. Hello. Hello. Eva, welcome. Thank you, my people, for honoring our dinner date. What? What? Siyawanga putom tala. Singenile. Babize bonke bazo bona sensai. What's up? Wherever you are, I hope you are dancing. Shamba. Yosha. Hey. You make me. Oh. So this will be our song every time we come on live, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday for the next 3 weeks. We're just going to be jamming to this jam. I will always have my crown on. I'll have my crown on, because I will be in conversation with you and royalty. Welcome, Stash. Welcome, Mthobisi. Welcome, everybody that's coming online. You are just on time for our date. Ow! Squabs! You are curing the people. What must you can happen? I'm loving this, guys. So, ask us chaive gangane la ukhona khona. Let's go. Was. Chaiva. All right, Nego, you can come through. You can pull through. Hola, Nego. Was. Jiva. I hope you are dancing wherever you are sitting. Tonight is going to be an epic evening. We'll be speaking all things purpose, business, writing. I know, my friend, I can see you, Tsepi. You are relevant indeed. You are very relevant, my people. All right, Nego, you can pull through. Let's do this. Hey. Hola. What's that?
We are within right here.
You are within. I guess that's a small look you are within. What?
And I'm the song, man. I so love it, eh?
Who's this? Dr. Shandepa. Welcome. King is fitness.
Osama is here.
Welcome. Oh, Shanda. What? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nranda kumshoweta hinkwenu mi nga tuna in namuntlha. Vito ra mina i Sipho Sethu wa ka Sihlangu, and welcome to the HE.ARTS live chat, the first episode, the first one. Nebu, how are you doing?
I'm
All
good,
right.
man. How are you?
I'm very good, man. I had to go to Ngimbulisa ngeShangan phela just to represent my people. Represent.
And some of us are next.
I hope that the sound is coming clear to you. And
No, from my side, all is well, man.
that is good. That is
Yeah.
good. And if you guys can't hear us at home, please comment and let us know, Uguti, you can hear us or not. All right. Welcome to everybody that's still coming on and everybody that has joined us already. All right. Thank you, Eva, for letting us know, Uguti, the sound is good. I am so excited about this conversation. This is the first one of 9 conversations. Nebu, how are you doing?
I'm good,
How are you
man.
doing,
How are you?
leadership? I'm great, man.
Finally, the day has come, eh?
Let me tell you, I could not sleep and I had a headache the whole day. I think it's because of the excitement, but I am
Yeah,
good now.
man. No,
Yeah.
all excited, man. We're hoping that it's going to be a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. So I normally do this with my students whenever I'm teaching class to just check in. You know, when we are getting online, like ungena go Facebook, you are
Yeah.
checking in with they say or Tambo, or I'm checking in goopy goopy. So
Sure.
I think most of us always check into the venues that we are in, but we seldomly check into ourselves. Where emotionally are we sitting? So I want to check in into the inner man, into the emotional man, into your space, you know,
Sure.
through a description of which fruit at this moment, if you were a fruit, if you were
Yeah.
a fruit at this very second, what fruit would you be and why?
I think I would be a banana.
At this very moment, you feel like a banana.
Yeah.
All right, and why?
Not I think the people it's not in the way that you are thinking about it, but I say a banana because I think it's one of the most available fruits at this point
All
during
right,
this time. I think in the shops is one of the fruits you would be able to find.
all
So
right,
I think because of the current circumstances we're in, I'm available, you know.
the whole time.
At the time. Sure.
I like that. I like that. I think seldomly we normally don't think about these things. So at this moment, you feel like a banana because you are feeling available, and it's because of the current system or due to the coronavirus and the lockdown. How is that treating you? How are you feeling about this?
Sure, man. I think it's a very difficult time, man.
Mm,
It's hard. I don't want to lie, but it's only like last week that I
mm,
started getting, the hang of things. Because I'm locked down in Joburg
yeah.
and I'm just alone in the room. So
Uh,
my roommate left just before the lockdown started. So
yeah.
I'm spending all the time indoors and I'm just by myself. So I've been quite busy with my studies as well, and it has been overwhelming because I'm used to working in the office, and since I couldn't go to the office, I had to find a way of um, making this space work for me. So that's what I've been
Yeah.
trying to do. So it's only last week that things started getting. I think I've figured out a routine of how to make it work for me, at least.
That's great. That's great. And what do you think you have learned in this past few days of lockdown for you personally, even as maybe even for your work ethic?
Sure, sure.
Mm,
Yeah, I think two things for me that really intrigued me about this lockdown. Number one is that I need to be able to find a way of making the situation work for me. As I was
mm,
saying, I'm not a person who's used to working endlessly, but I've
mm.
been forced to work endlessly on my desk here, which is very small, and I'm used to a big desk. And it's showing us that the things we take for granted will not always be be there.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
first thing. So just to appreciate those kinds of things, that's the first thing. So the second thing is the importance of connections. I think even because of the
Mm.
book that I'm writing, I'm seeing so much um, connection between people, and how
Mm.
everyone is talking about connecting to other people. Everyone is talking about how important it is to keep in touch with others. So for me, that is one thing that this situation has taught me. So, it has strengthened a lot of relationships for me
Nice.
because
Nice.
we've been in touch with people. So that has been quite interesting. And funny enough, I sent a few people, like a few friends of mine,
Yeah. Oh no. Don't tell me that one.
but then and like some of the things I've learned from them, and some of them were really surprised. And they're like, "Mchana, we are Valeli, so what's up? What's happening?" So I'm just realizing how important connection is.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Mm.
I mean, I like this topic of connection because for the first time, a lot of people, especially as gents, we don't relate from a place of the heart, right? We always just relate with people from the
Yo.
surface. We are too
Mm.
afraid to, I miss you, my friend, or I even love you, my friend. We don't say those things. So
Sure.
now we are forced to sit with our emotions, with our spaces, and it brings us to this conversation of the heart space, which is HE.ARTS live chat.
Yeah. Sure.
So
Sure.
how has that been, logging in into that heart space and then allowing yourself to express yourself from that heart space?
Um, I must say it's vulnerable. It's being vulnerable,
Yeah,
which is really something that a lot of us are afraid of. But
exactly.
once you start doing it, you actually learn how freeing it is,
Yeah.
to be able to express yourself wholeheartedly. So for me, that is how I am looking at it. It's a very, because culturally, as like Zulus and South African men, there is that thing of not being emotional. As
Yeah,
in, you
yeah,
can't be emotional. And when you talk
yeah,
about these things, the matters of the heart, they're mostly emotional. So just being
exactly.
able to express that takes a lot of vulnerability. So, which
Mm,
I think it's an important thing. It's a very courageous thing to do.
mm.
It's
I
a
mean,
very
you are right that it does take a lot. And I think for many people, they see being vulnerable as a weakness. But if you can put yourself in that state, and it really is a point of strength because you start to see it's a point of trusting the next person that you are
mm,
opening up to. And
sure,
should they be open as well, it gives you an access to a space in your guys' relationship that you would have
sure,
otherwise never had,
sure,
you know?
sure. That's very true.
So
And it's not everyone girl who's always able to receive
exactly,
that that
exactly.
that level of vulnerability. And I think the scenario I started with of how people thought actually in China we are Valeli, so what's happening just shows how awkward it becomes or how unused to we are to this being
Yeah,
vulnerable. So when somebody becomes vulnerable, we feel like there must be something wrong with them.
yeah, that's very true.
Mm.
All right, so for a person who doesn't know Mthobisi Ndaba and who he is and where is he from, kahle kahle ubani lo? Can you just give us a summary into your space, into your life, and who you are?
Sure. I don't like that question, but I will answer. I always find it difficult to respond to that question when people ask me in
Uh-huh.
spaces like this, because not because I don't understand who I am, but
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's it's so complicated, or it's so complex. Maybe not complicated. It's so
Yeah.
complex that it's hard to articulate in words. But I am
Mm.
from KZN, Escort, Ekwaga.
Mm.
Um, I spent most of my childhood there. I went to school at Pasio. I started at Pasio Primary School and then went to Telimfundo Primary School for grade 6 and 7. Then I did my high school in Tatagusa Secondary. Then from there again, I moved to Joburg. And it was the first time me coming to Joburg when I was here for university. And I've been here for 10 years now.
A decade! Listen,
decade, man.
Listen, looking back to HE.ARTS, where you were born and grew up,
sure.
What can you just take us back to an everyday time there when you were still a kid? Generally, how was it? What kind of games you played? What was the environment? And did you ever see yourself become the person that you are during those days in that space?
Yeah. See, now we were like those guys, those young boys in Jababedlala ngobumbe emadongweni, and would go swimming in the river, you know, because HE.ARTS is a rural area.
Very.
So when I was still in like early primary school, besluse ekhaya bekuneyinkomo.
Nice.
So it was that type of guy. Besohamba mazilahlekile inkomo, you'd have to make sure that they come back. You must find a way, you know, baswa kudle umbilo osiwe and all of that.
Yes.
So in that environment, and my family was very big. I grew up with my maternal side of the family, and my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, and everyone. So it was just quite a big family. And it was nice. We would play those games of like
yes.
Even though again I wasn't good at soccer, and from that time
join the club. It
didn't work for me. So yeah, man. And I don't think I saw what I was going to become at the time.
Did it even matter? Can I just jump in quickly? Did it even matter at the time? Because I guess one could say you were so present in where you were that the prospect of the future was not a dialogue that you needed to entertain. But did it matter for you at the time?
Not that much, because, you know, people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, you get those questions when you're young. And because the only thing we're exposed to is like teachers, nurses, and doctors. So you would pick one of those things. And
exactly.
I love to usually say, I usually say this when I speak, that you cannot, you are always told that to be successful in life, you must think outside the box. But there is something we need to understand, that you cannot think outside the box and if the box is what you've always known. So if the only thing you've been exposed
preach
it's doctors and nurses and everything, that is how far you will dream, because we didn't even have TV at home.
Nice.
So there was no signal for TV, so we couldn't have TV. And so the only thing we're exposed to, it was those things. But it was only like late in high school that I started thinking very intentionally about where I wanted to be, even though it started out wrong, but that doesn't matter. I'm here now.
And all things have worked together for the good.
All things work together for the good, my man.
So let's rewind to 2010, when you are coming to Johannesburg for the first time. It was 2010, right?
2011.
2011.
I was doing matric.
All right, 2010, you're doing matric.
It's not 10 years, it's 9 years now. Yo, my math is bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm a social scientist, so I can get my math wrong. It's okay.
Welcome to everybody that's jumping onto the conversation. We see you, and yes, we will be saving this after this chat so that you can be able to watch it again. But it's only going to be on for like 24 hours or something. Anyway, back to the conversation. So coming to Joburg 9 years ago, how was that for you, leaving a place of home, because I've been to your place, I was at your place with your family for a whole weekend, which was for me very beautiful experience, because I love spaces that are country, that are quiet, and you know, so I had a very great time there. And also the connecting with the people was so different from what the connection is with the people here. And it was beautiful for me to come into your space as your friend and be in a rural space. it
Sure.
said something for our friendship, because to allow somebody to see that part of you when they are only meeting you in a different context says a lot about that relationship as well.
Sure.
So coming to Joburg in 2010, you've never seen these high buildings and all of these things are now open to you for the first time. How was that
Yeah.
experience? How was that experience?
Um, it was quite an experience,
Yeah.
something new to me. But one
Mm,
thing that really helped me to adjust was the
mm.
issue of connections. I'm gonna still go back to this idea of connections because it's
I like
something that
that.
I'm grappling with and I'm thinking about currently
Yeah.
in my life and my journey. So there was a lady I met in school who her name is Pam Mazibuko. Yes, I think she's Pam Mazibuko. She's married to a Mazibuko now.
Yeah.
She's Pamela Gubega. So she was a class ahead of me, and she had come to vets
Mm,
for she was doing pharmacy at vets. So when I
mm.
left school, she was the only person I knew in Joburg.
Ah.
She was the only person I knew in Joburg. So so everything I learned in terms of how the university life works, in terms of
Yeah.
how to get to vets, was
Yeah.
through
Through
her and
her.
her guiding me. So that connection for me was very, very important. And
Shout
then
out.
the other thing that really helped me to kind of get my head around being in a fast-paced city like Joburg was the people I also met at church. So when I left church at home, some of the people there connected me to people here because Assemblies of God is big, so it's almost
Yeah.
everywhere in Africa. So there was that connection here. Then I met Unjabulo Sbiya here, who became like my mentor, and he
Okay.
was really helpful in terms of helping me find my
Mm.
foot in Josie. So that was quite an experience. Obviously,
Mm.
I didn't know much, so it was quite surprising. The only thing I thought was that when I get off, I might get marked or something because that's the idea of Joburg we had before
Yeah.
we came here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like this idea of connection, and I hope that the story of Umbali and Umpume and the guy who mentored you will feature in this new book you are writing. Can you quickly tell us about this new project you're working on?
Sure. Okay. That you're getting me excited now. So the book is titled The Jumpstart Effect.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's the Jumpstart Effect, Why Human Connections Matter.
Mm-hmm.
So it is born out of an experience I had a weekend before the launch of my second book.
Yeah.
We were in Rosebank with a friend of mine, Uslindi Lenkosi, who was just helping me, go around buying things for the book launch.
Yeah.
And we spent some time in Red Rose Bank, and it was in the evening around 7. We're done with everything we're doing, so we were sitting in her car, and she had her lights on, and I told her, sleep, please turn off the lights because the battery's gonna die. And she was like, no, I know my car, it takes over 6 hours before the battery dies. I was like, I don't even have a car, so what can I say? 20 minutes later, I'm sure you can guess, what happened. So
Yeah.
she tries to start the car because the bus was there for me to go to vets. The car doesn't start. The battery is dead. So we're stuck. So fast forward, we had to look for jumper cables. And then we asked a lot of people. People were driving by, and then we couldn't get jumper cables until we were at the garage at Rosebank, the garage under the mall. We met a
Mm.
guy there who was driving an old green Toyota Corolla, who
Mm.
told us that he doesn't have jumper cables like everyone else who we're speaking to. But he told us that as much as he doesn't have the jumper cables, he knows where to find them. He told us about the
Exactly.
security guards in the mall, that the security guards keep jumper cables there. And
Wow.
it
Let's
was so
pause there
nice
for a
to see.
second. Let's pause
Sure.
there for a second because I think a lot of people will miss that. This
Yeah.
guy did not have what you needed, but he
Yes.
knew what you
Where
were to get. Hey, that's
exactly.
powerful. That's so
And
powerful.
yo, man, I didn't realize how powerful it was until I started thinking about it. So we went to the security guards. Some of them, I'm even thinking that they might not even have cars, but they had jumper
Exactly.
cables.
Hey,
So,
guys,
so
this
this
is hot
guy,
stuff right here. This is hot stuff right here. This is hot stuff
yes,
right
man,
here.
sure. So we went to them, we got jumper cables, and this guy, funny enough, he waited for us to jumpstart our
Mm,
car. And he jumpstarted our cars. Lee went to, went to a place. I went to my place. But when I was thinking about it and preparing for the book launch, Push by Passion, I realized how important human connections are. And that was my speech at the book launch. For people who were there would remember. That's number
mm,
one. Sometimes the help that you need is not,
mm.
you're not going to get it from the people you expect to get it from. The people you
Amen.
least expect would help you.
Preach.
They're the ones who might have that kind of help.
Yeah,
Number two, it was that it takes more than just what we have to get to where we want to.
exactly.
At
Exactly.
that moment when we're in the car, we were both educated. I had a master's degree. I was so educated. He was also educated. We probably had money in our bank accounts, but all of those things could not
Did
do
not
anything
matter.
for us at that specific
Woo!
point. What we
Yeah.
needed was help from outside. What we needed was a jump start from outside. So that's the idea behind the book. And so it's a book about stuckness as a unfriendly reminder that human connections matter.
Woo!
Because what I'm realizing, just reflecting on that experience, is how at the different points in my
Mm,
life where I've been stuck in terms of the goals that I have, my studies and everything that I'm trying to do for my future. The instances where I got stuck, there
mm,
was nothing I could do by myself to get myself out. I needed,
mm,
help from outside. So
mm.
being stuck reminded me how important it is for me to connect with other people. So there's a lot
Hey,
of stories that I share in the book about those experiences of stuckness. I've shared some of them on social media about how I got into the PhD, how I got through the masters and all of that. So and there's also some childhood stories that I also, kind of share. It's more personal than the books I've written before.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the people who read my books, especially Push by Passion, felt like there was a lot more behind what I was writing about. And
Mm.
it felt like I was hiding behind the stories I was writing about. So this one is a bit more vulnerable. It tells a bit of.
Can you hear us?
Second, Ego? Was that second?
Yeah, your connection is giving us a bit of a problem, but you are back. You are back. We see you now.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry about that. I
Oh,
think the network might be just messing up with us. So
oh,
yeah,
we
that's what
pray
the
that
book is about.
it doesn't do. All right. So for people that don't know about him, he's written 3 books. The first one was Incubating Excellence. I don't know where my copy is right now. And the second one was this one, Pushed by Passion. And
Yes.
then the third one is the one that we just discussed. I think we'll have a part 2 where you and I sit down. Yeah, there we go. Where you and I sit down and really dive into this new book that you are writing.
Sure,
But
sure.
I could not help but take advantage of this human connection
Yeah.
to lead us to our next conversation, because these are the HE.ARTS live chats. And HE.ARTS is a book that I wrote over a period of 10 years. And
Yeah.
I was not over a period of 10 years, and I was not even thinking that I was writing this book. So I was writing a book called Iskaftin, which was a collection of quotes. I was busy in the back of my mind working on my own memoir, which was going to be about my life. But at the same time, I was just writing these poems and I was writing these short stories, only
Mm,
to realize later that they are actually a book by themselves.
mm,
So when I then finished writing the book and I had financial problems and I was not getting the money, a friend of mine told me about the National Arts Publishing Library, National Arts Library or something like that, where they ran this competition of sending your manuscript and then they will select a few and then they will fund it for you. When
mm.
I did that, they then told me that you must choose. It's either poetry or short stories. Can be both.
Yeah, yeah,
But in my heart of hearts, uh, I already knew that I wanted it to be a collection of both because for me, it was not about the poetry or the short stories. It was about celebrating creative writing. It was about
yeah.
celebrating the stories and
Mm.
how I've received them and putting them together in this collection. So I was also stuck, like you guys were stuck in that situation and needed somebody to come with the jump cables, you know?
Sure,
And
sure.
you became the guy that comes in with the jump cables. So for people that don't know, how did you become part of this project, which is my book, HE.ARTS?
My book,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you still remember this?
Oh, wow. I remember that. I'm glad to see that you're using a gift. It's good.
Yeah. So, um, how did I become part of this project? It's because of
Yes.
my company that I started, which is Words.
Yeah.
It's a self-publishing company that I started after I published my second book. So how the company came about was how I wasn't happy with the work that was done for
Mm,
me after having paid so much money. I think
mm,
um, on this Push by Passion project, from the publishing to the printing to the book launch, I think I spent close to 40,000 rands, a little under
yeah.
40,000. So,
Yeah.
and also I lost money because of that, and a lot of other mistakes that the people who were publishing the book did, which I wasn't happy
Mm,
about in terms of the editing. So the first print run was all wrong. So 300 copies were there, but I had paid for them. But because the work that they had done wasn't that great, I had to pay for another 300 copies to
mm,
be printed. So after that, I dedicated myself to learning the process of
mm,
publishing and republished my first book through the
mm,
company. And then I worked on your project. When we had the
mm.
conversation about the book you wanted to write, that you had written, and you gave me a chance to actually show that actually we can actually do this at Inspirate. So that's how the whole thing started, and it's also the conversations we have with each
Yeah.
other. We learn about what other people are doing, and in that way
Mm,
we get to see actually there is something you can do for me that you can
yeah.
benefit from as well.
I mean, it was an honor for us, myself and Dare to Live, to trust you with our project, which is
Sure.
my book. And also, I think you did a stellar job. Guys, this book, the quality of it, the way it is put together, it is
Yeah,
out of this world. It is excellent. And of course, it was a process. And one of the things, the goals for me was never to ask for a discount.
sure.
And I always try that whenever I'm working and supporting Black business, I don't come with this mentality yokuthi awungishaya nge-discount lapho ngoba siyazana,
Mm, mm.
because I don't want to compromise on the fact that nawe uzothi ngoba siyazana thingingayicheckisisi le ndaba
Yabo,
thingingaziphi,
yabo.
fully,
Sure.
so for you, when you receive the manuscript, what was, because this is not even, it's an art book and you are writing from a different perspective as a writer.
Yeah,
So
of
how
course.
did you relate to the book in terms of putting it together, but also its content?
Yeah. Yo, man, at first, I must say, I wasn't a person who reads um, fiction
Yeah.
at first. And this book is one of the books that introduced me into that world. Now I started reading. I have like 2 novels now. This one is really working.
Nice
It was
one.
really great, and this one by Mthobisi Ndaba, which were really
Yes.
both of them good books. And it was after the publication of this one that I started reading this, and also friends of mine who read fiction who introduced me to it.
Exactly.
But what I really liked in working with this book, HE.ARTS, was the reflection of everyday life
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
saw in the poems, in the short stories. And the story that really resonated me is the story about the sun's cry.
On everyday life.
I think
Are you back?
I missed. Yeah,
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 we missed you a bit, but we're glad to have you back. Welcome back. So
yeah.
you were still saying we missed you from the part where you were saying how this book commented on real life activities in its short stories and poems.
So I was just trying to say I could see a reflection of things I've seen in everyday life in the
Yeah,
book, regardless of the fact that it was fiction. Because
yeah,
I think the idea or that I had of fiction before was something that's just created, and
mm,
it's all made up. It doesn't
mm,
really have, I felt like it doesn't really have any connection to reality until, I had a conversation with friends of mine who read fiction. And when I read this book, I realized also that connection between real life and also how people write fiction and how that reflection comes out in the stories, in
mm,
some of the stories that you have written and the poems that you have written. So that story about the sun's cry really resonated with me because, as I said, I grew up in my maternal side of the family. So my father
mm,
wasn't, for the most part of my childhood, wasn't present. So I could relate to the feelings that he had about his father's absence at that point. But what I really loved about him was that even though his father was in his deathbed, he did not say, because you were not there for me, I'm not going to be there for you, which I think is a very
exactly.
important life lesson that we learn from the story.
Mm.
And it's just sad that again the father dies before they get a chance to actually catch up on things that he wanted to talk to him about. But
I
I
will pause
just
you there
love.
quickly. Yeah. Can I pause you there quickly?
Sure,
Let's go to page
sure,
43, which is the page of the story that you are speaking about. Page
sure,
43, it's a sun's cry. I will read just a bit of it and then I will stop and then we'll converse a bit about it. Okay.
sure.
It opens with saying, "Where do great men run to when the going gets tough?" This
Yeah.
was one question I kept asking myself when I saw my father on his deathbed. The room was empty and so quiet you could hear the silent cry. It was as though the walls were caving in on me and no one was there to help me out. The house that was once filled with loud voices of big-bellied men wearing tight suits that all seemed too small for them was now empty. That part is very funny. They were nowhere to be seen. They called themselves his friends, but today not even one of them can be reached or stops by to see him. I look at I look at the bed in which my father is now lying helplessly like a little boy. Doctors have given up on him and have sent him back home to spend his last days with his family. In this empty room, in this empty room, He has become my mirror, reflecting the young, helpless boy I used to be. He reminds me of how I used to hope and pray